Warning, warning, warning. Do not try this. This goes against what most credit repair specialists are going to recommend. This video is for entertainment purposes only. It is how I managed to repair my credit cards. And by the end of this video, you're going to know how I managed to get almost $40,000 worth of credit card when just 8 months ago I was rejected for a Discover card. Let's get into this. All right, real quick, in order to understand my strategy, you have to know credit scoring. 35% of credit scoring is on payment history. I've got horrible history. I've got a bunch of late payments. I've got some collections. The second biggest category, 30%, is on amount owed. We'll come back to that, but that one I am going to master. The third category is length of credit. This strategy will tank length of credit. That's worth 15% of your credit score. Types of credit. Again, the strategy is going to maximize this because you're going to have both installment and revolving. New credit in the tank. You are going to destroy, if you follow this advice, new credit category. You will not like the results. So 25% of your credit score is going to be in the tank if you follow this advice. Do not do it. So 8 months ago, I applied for a car note to get a new car. They had a hard time getting me financed. And when they did, they financed me at 12.99% interest. That's almost $200 a month every single month I am going to be paying on interest alone. I did not like that. That was a huge wake-up call for me. So I started researching credit repair. I started figuring out what I needed to do to get my credit back up. Again, do not try what you're about to see. This was my journey, not yours. Now, when I started researching, one of the things I found out was about credit reporting. What do the scores look at? 35% of your score is based on credit history. I knew initially this was going to be a hard category for me. I can dispute some of the items, I can get some of them removed, and that's one for a future video. But we're talking about credit cards. Why did I get 9 credit cards? Every month that you have a credit card or a line of credit installment loan, you get a positive check mark every single month for that making that payment. Now, if you have one credit card, in 10 months, you'll have 10 positive check marks. If you have a late payment, you're going to get an X on the 10th month. You're at 90% on time, which 90% sounds good, but in the credit reporting world, it stinks. Here's a graphic that shows what the FICO scores want as far as your credit on-time percentage. They want 99% on time to be golden, 98% on time to be good. If you're below 98% on time, well, you're going to lose this category. By having 10 credit cards, every single month I'm getting a positive check mark times 10. I'm getting 100 positive check marks in that same 10-month time frame. Now, if I have one late payment, I'm still at 99% on time. This puts me in the golden category. So going forward, having 10 separate accounts, 9 credit cards in my car, it allows me to have 120 positive check marks every single year going forward. That's why I chose to have so many cards. Now, amount owed, utilization. This is how much you owe compared to how much you have available. So if you have a credit card with $100, round numbers, if you have $50 used, you have 50% utilization. If you have $30 used, you have 30% utilization. Now, the credit reporting agencies, they don't care about dollar amount as much as percentage. So if you have a $100 card with $50 used, you're at 50% utilization. If I have $100,000 worth of credit card with $10,000 used, though you've got $50, I've got $10,000, I'm at 10%, you're at 50% of utilization. You want to keep your utilization at 30% to be considered okay, and under 9% to be considered golden. By having a lot of credit cards, a lot of equity in those cards, it shows that I have a very low utilization. Types of credit. Category number 3, it's 10% of your credit score. Now that 10% is made up of basically 2 items: revolving and installment. Installment loans are like a car. You pay the same amount every single month. Revolving is like credit cards. The amount revolves depending on how much you use it. I'm maxing out both of those categories, so I should be getting all the credit I possibly can in that category. Now, the final 2 categories are length of history and new credit. Both of those categories, this strategy absolutely tanks. New credit, I've got 10 new items that are less than a year old. Length of history, I've got 10 new items that are less than a year old. Hello, we just talked about it. Both of those categories, my time is going to suck. However, in 2 years, both of those categories should recover. I am not planning on buying another car in 2 years. I'm not planning on getting another credit card in at least a year. So both of those categories should fully recover within inside of 24 months. Also, let's talk about this for a minute. If you have one credit card for 10 years, at the end of that 10-year time frame, you get another credit card. Well, your oldest account is 10 years old. Your newest one is nothing, and your average is 5 years old. If you buy a car, now your 10 years is divided by 3, so it's only about 3 years old for your average age of account. Again, 3 years is pretty decent, but what if your average age was 5 to begin with one item? Now it's 2.5 when you got another credit card. When you got the car, it becomes under 2 years old. Again, tanking your length of history. By having multiple cards, it allows me to reduce that age, but it's going to take 2 to 5 years before it makes a huge difference. Now, how do I have almost $40,000 worth of credit cards? 37. Almost $40,000 worth of credit cards 8 months after being rejected by Discover. And I still don't have a Discover card, by the way. It's simple. I went online and found 4 secured credit cards that accepted me. I put $200 in each one of those 4 accounts. None of them ran a credit report. I do not recommend those 4 credit cards for the simple reason that they blow my new rules. They have no graduation. They do not graduate, and they do have an annual fee. If I want to keep those 2 cards, it's going to cost me $110 come October. Probably won't be keeping them beyond October. The other 2 credit cards, I had a relationship with 2 credit unions. Also had a little bit of extra funds. So with my old credit union, I asked them for a secured credit card at $5,000 limit. They said okay. They gave me a secured credit card and they locked my money away. That money is going to be locked away for probably another 12 months. Probably another 5 months. The second was Navy Federal. Now, Navy Federal absolutely rocks. I got a $500 secured card with them. 2 months later, they bumped it up to $700. And then I went ahead and put an additional deposit in that account. Yeah, I took it from my other one. Put into additional deposit and bumped that one up to $5,000 as well. So at this point, I had 2 credit cards that had a $10,000 between them. Why the heck would I want a secured card for $5,000? It's very simple. See, if you go to the bank and you say, I want a credit card, the first thing they do is look at your credit report. They will see that you have a credit card from Capital One, and it's a $300 card. Well, if you ask for a $5,000 card, you don't have a history. They see that $300 credit card, they might give you a $500 card. Call them up in 6 months, they might bump it up to $1,000. 6 months after that, they might bump it up to $2,000 or possibly $3,000. A year or two later, you might make that $5,000 point. That $5,000 is a major landmark for credit cards. Now, by having 2 credit cards with a high limit, $5,000, when I went to Chase and said, hey, Chase, I want a credit card with you guys. They looked at my report. They saw I had, granted, they were young accounts, but I had 2 accounts with a $5,000 card on each. They saw my utilization ratio was very, very low. I was doing what I had to do. I was doing what I was supposed to do with credit cards, which is not max them and just pay them down. It's use them, pay them off every single month. So when Chase looked at my account, they saw I was doing what I should be doing. I was young, but I was doing what I should be doing. And they were willing to give me a Sapphire card with $5,000 credit line because I showed that I was able to handle credit. Now, this was 8 months of making sure my payments were on time every single month. Now, Navy Federal graduated me. Thank you, Navy Federal. They gave me a card, and they unsecured my card. They released my funds. Then they turned around and were nice enough to give me an American Express card. Now, between the small credit cards, my 2 secured cards, one of which graduated, my American Express and my Chase card, I now have almost $37,000 worth of credit. Now, at this point, I am not getting any more credit. I really lucked out with the American Express card from Navy Federal and by Chase giving me a card. By the way, American Express also gave me a card, but it's a small one. It gets my foot in the door. That's all I care about. And every single month going forward, I'm going to be making those positive check marks. Every single month. And I'm going to let everything settle till at least May of next year, 12 months from now, before I go back and try to get another card. This will give me a year, over a year, on my youngest accounts and a year and a half on my established ones. It'll also be about the same time that I pay off my truck. Yay! And I'll still have quite a few years left to pay off on my car, which is relatively new. But in order to have perfect credit, you've got to have multiple accounts. And that's about the end of this video. Guys, if you got any value at all out of this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, click on that notifications bell. That way, you'll make sure to know every time I release a video. I'm shooting for 2 videos a week. Now, the next couple are going to be on the Chase Sapphire card, and here's a little secret. Navy Federal has a secret card. Yes, they do. I just found out about it. and I got it. Have a great one, guys. I'm out.